My name is Massimo Lombardo.
My name is Joran Brown.
My name is Josiah Hassan, but I go by Joe.
I was born in Italy, in Genova, and I've been adopted when I was 2.
I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area.
Like they raised me like close to the French border in a small town called Ventimiglia.
I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I was born and raised there for most of my life before moving to Huntsville, Alabama, and then later on to Georgia.
So I'm black just as much as I'm Italian, just as much as I'm a man, just as much as my sexual orientation is like heterosexual. This is just one part of my of what I am.
Yeah, I grew up in a place where I was a minority race. I grew up in Prince George's County, and like in the D.C. area, the city of Washington is like 66% black, and Prince George's County is 80% black, I think. And it's also the wealthiest black county in the United States. Although I myself didn't grow up in the wealthy part.
There's no such thing as a huge black Italian community in this country.
No, I've definitely never lived in a place where I was not in the minority.
No, I have never been in a place where I was not a minority if you talk about ethnical minority. Whereas if you talk about my sexual orientation, my nationality, my language, my religion officially, if you talk about all these aspects, I've always been in a place where I belong, where I was a majority.
I would define racism as being treated unfairly, being denied any opportunities because of your race.
Racism is structural but I think it is coupled structural or social discrimination against a group in the belief that another group is superior.
I do think people see me first for my skin tone.
I think that it varies case to case, location to location, whether or not people see me from my skin tone first. And also, at certain times, it might have something to do with whatever political, cultural, or social events are happening around us at the time. I'd like to think that most people think nothing of my skin tone and just see another person that they ignore, like most of the people that you see on the street. However, there are instances where I would certainly say that people see my color before they see my humanity.
Absolutely. It's definitely the first thing they notice when they see me.
Because that's the first thing that everyone sees. I just don't think that I should judge them for that.
For example, I'm going to Paris in a few days. The Paris attacks happened. I'm rather positive that I'm going to be profiled at the airport because the last time I flew out, I was checked for explosives.
Whenever I enter a store or a shop or a business, people start talking to me in English or French, and that's an assumption that since I belong to another ethnic group, I'm not Italian.
I am stared at, pointed at, talked about, because of my race.
It's my job to let them know that there's something else, not different, not opposite, but just something else other than my skin color that they might find interesting, they might find worth discovering about me.
I wouldn't say I'm treated worse because I've never had a personal experience being treated unfairly in any way that I've noticed.
I used to think that I was treated differently, and in some cases I think it was true. For example, in school, I remember my grades, even if not excellent, were praised by my teachers because they felt that maybe it was a huge accomplishment because of my background or because of maybe just my skin. And so I think that when everyone praises a B, or a B minus instead of saying, yeah, you could do better, you could get to an A plus. That's a way of treating someone else differently.
I think that racism operates very differently in the United States. I think that it's almost an inversion of the way that it is in Europe, because European cultural sensibilities are such that they, I guess, like cerebrally, like intellectually and idealistically don't see race, because they see themselves as like the most human culture, and like they aspire to the ideals of humanity. So like racism wouldn't exist. However, on the ground level, it's a lot more apparent, I think, in certain cases than it would be in the United States. Whereas in America, there's a lot more structural racism built into the system, and that manifests in certain types of discrimination that can be more like damning as with their consequences than others. But on the like individual level, most people try to believe that they aren't racist.
Definitely. I think because the population is so diverse that seeing a black man walk down the street isn't as surprising in most areas compared to here in Italy.
Black and white American people have been the same culture for the last 200 or 300 years. Like they've been in the same continent, spoken the same language. It's just not the case here in Italy today. So like whenever white Italians make remarks that there should be no such thing as a black Italian, I don't think they're saying it because of the race. They're saying because of the culture that's just not the same as the Italian culture.
I've grown up in somewhat diverse communities for a large part of my life, so I've seen how people from different groups or like different identities are treated. So I think I've developed ways to cope with just people's reaction to my own identity, my own race.
My parents gave me such a huge sense of like confidence in myself.
I think that growing up in an area where there were a lot of African Americans and like other black people that I could see as successful or role models, or I guess even just like normal, like really had an impact on the way that I like construe my own identity, because I've never felt any type of like inferiority.
It would be nice if people stopped assuming that I'm not Italian because of my skin tone.
I'd be better off and more comfortable if I felt like my life had more value to the state that I hold citizenship in.
It would help me a lot, especially enjoying my time here in Rome and in Italy, if people would stop staring.
To me, like it's not right for like society to tell me or anyone which is the aspect of myself that I should consider important, so that makes me a minority or a majority.
African American, Latin American, Native Americans are significantly more likely than other groups to be attacked or killed for either negligible or no reason at all. And I would be a lot more comfortable if I felt that I had some security in the state, because I have to live in it.
Yeah, I think the more diverse the country or the community, the better experience you'll have.
You can really ask people not to see you as a thuggish person if that's how you think it's cool to portray yourself.
Employ some of the wealth of information and knowledge and input and opinions that we have, and make our social systems work as well and as smooth as we seem to be getting our technological systems to work.
If you knew me on a personal level, or even not even on a personal level, if you just knew a little bit about me, you would know that I'm a friendly person and that I'm not threatening in any way. So just, take a minute to get to know me before you judge me because of my outer appearance.